Disclaimer. Please forgive me now for there may be mispronunciations in this video. There is a quarter-mile section of Interstate 4 halfway between Daytona and Orlando that is known to the locals as the Dead Zone. It is located in Seminole County at the south end of the Interstate Bridge across St. Johns River. I have been noticing a pattern of most of these Florida hauntings and cryptids surrounding or revolving around St. Johns River in Seminole County. Anyhow, the section of the road known as the Dead Zone has become legendary for its high number of traffic accidents, many at which had fatalities. Depending on the sources, there have been an estimated 1,048 to 1,740 car crashes at this location since the highway opened in 1963 up to 2005. The estimated could be way higher now. State officials blame traffic congestion for the usually high number of crashes, but others attribute it to something more supernatural. Let's explore the history of the legend. Prior to the 1880, the area was full of untamed wilderness, part of a large grant owned by Henry Sanford, head of the Florida Land and Colonization Company. In 1886, the area was divided into 10 anchored parcels in order to start a Roman Catholic community called St. Joseph's Colony. Sanford thought he could unload real estate quickly by attracting Catholic immigrants from Germany to his colony. He would appoint a priest named Felix Swember to oversee this plan. But according to Central Florida historian Kristen Kinlaw Best, the effort got off on a bad start. It was only 4 immigrant families that settled down there, and in 1887 there was an outbreak of yellow fever, which wiped out 4 of the members of one immigrant family. The priest, Father Swember, was unfortunately away in Tampa attending to other fever victims, at which he also succumbed to the disease. Fearing the disease was contagious, the others buried the bodies in the woods with no last rites and no priest. By 1890, St. Joseph's Colony turned into a royal town of Lake Monroe. Part of the land was cleared for farming, except for the tiny cemetery where the bodies lay. When Albert S. Hawkins bought the land in 1905, the graves sat in the middle of the cultivated field, and unfortunately time had erased the names off of the 4 wooden markers. Along with the names, the origin of the graves had also been lost except for local tradition that said the burials were of a Dutch family who had died from fever. According to the accounts, Mr. Hawkins released his land to other farmers and gave them a warning about tampering with the burial plot. Of course they didn't listen, and one farmer tried to remove the rusty wire fence surrounding the graves, and on the same day his house burned down. Not listening to his own advice, Mr. Hawkins' house burned down allegedly after he removed the nearly rotted wooden markers. After this, Miss Hawkins blamed the fire on the graves, which Mr. Hawkins replaced the markers. The field would become locally known as the Field of the Dead. In 1959, the farm was purchased by the government to make way for Interstate 4. During the survey, the 4 nameless graves were marked for relocation. However, the graves were never moved. In September 1960, filled dirt was dumped on top of the graves to elevate the new highway. This is when things get weird. At the same instant, Hurricane Donna slammed into South Florida and made its way across the tip of Florida toward the Gulf of Mexico. On the very day that the graves were covered with filled dirt, Donna changed direction near Tampa and headed northeastward across the peninsula. Her path paralleled with the surveyed route of the new highway. The storm's eye passed over the graves at midnight, September 10, 1960. This experience halted highway construction for nearly a month. On the day that Interstate 4 was open to traffic, a tractor-trailer truck hauling a load of frozen shrimp became Dead Zone's first casualty when the tractor-trailer went out of control and jackknifed right above the graves. Along with the traffic accidents, people claim their cell phones stopped working or that static disrupts their radios in this section of the highway. A few claimed encounters at night with wispy balls of light that zigzag just above the pavement. What do you think of the Dead Zone? Did you like this video? Want to get early access and support this channel? Feel free to check out my Patreon page where I create content on cryptids, hauntings, alien abductions, seers, killers, and much more. Can't support me there? Like, comment, and subscribe here.